Okay, so we've got the rears in. Haven't started on the fronts, but I wanted to take a minute while this was fresh in my mind and show you some things. My apologies for the light, it's a little dark here in the shop. But that's what the rear suspension looks like installed. See there at the top you've got the dial, that's the adjustment for the shock absorber. This collar here is your ride height adjustment. Basically the total shock length determines the ride height, and that is a brilliant design because it keeps the damping the same and it keeps the spring rate the same irregardless, and that's not even a word, but no matter what ride height you set the car, you have the same damping and the same spring rate, which is amazing. The problem is how to compensate for that in the spring purchase. Now if you look, you see there's that threaded insert at the bottom sitting on the control arm. I don't think you can see it, I think it's too dark, but there is a second collar. You know what, let me pause this and get the other one. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is the spring perch that sits on the control arm there, and it's got a lock nut here and this adjustment collar here, and then this is a vibration isolator. And this is how you adjust the ride height. I'm not going to show you on this one because I've got them both adjusted the same and I don't want to lose the adjustment. But basically you unlock this lock nut, you spin this collar here, and then as that travels up and down these threads, that gives you the different height adjustment for the coil spring. Now, this is my first impression of this kit. Obviously the car hasn't hit the ground yet, haven't driven it, don't know anything about the performance. I think this kit is a little bit too complicated and too technical for the do-it-yourselfer shade tree mechanic working in a home garage. Getting these adjustments right, getting the preloads right, etc. I don't think I would recommend the average do-it-yourselfer unless it's a highly experienced person. I don't think I would recommend doing this yourself. I think I would recommend hiring a shop. Because the way you do this here in the rear, as I was saying, actually this is I think better without that light turned on. But the way you do this in the rear is, as I said, you set your shock height here, which will give you your ride height, and then you adjust that collar up that I was just showing you until this spring sits with zero preload. And you see it's here, it's not compressed at all, but I can't clock it, I can't compress it with my hand, it's not moving around at all, it's just seated there at a zero preload. Godspeed says set all of the coils at zero preload. They're not set from the factory, you have to do it yourself. That's part of why I was saying I don't think I would recommend this kit for the do-it-yourselfer at home. That is a fairly technical procedure. It's not that difficult, but if you screw it up, you are just not going to be happy with your results. So anyway, that's the rears. We'll get started on the fronts and post another video.